Hi everyone, I'm Airier, and today we're going to be looking more at TexTalks BattleTech, the Mackie. Last time around, we did a lot of the stuff leading up to the creation of the Mackie, the very first BattleTech mech. And the thing that is called a Cameron and is just a giant space mullet invading reality. I'm assuming it's some kind of eldritch entity and proof that there are higher evil powers in this universe because the mullet like that could not exist for any other reason. Am I taking this too far? No, I feel perfectly justified in everything I just said. And if you've seen the picture, you're probably one of the people who's warned me, no, it's only getting crazier from here on out, and I should be aware of this guy because he's going to be unique. So, otherwise, again, link below, hit it up. Let's get started. Yeah, this guy. God, that mullet.
Enter Jacob Cameron.
Jacob Cameron, huh. Director General?
General Jacob Cameron was the son of Richard Cameron. No, not that one.
Oh, so they recycled names.
The comparison is apt enough. Richard Cameron might as well be an ill-omened name as far as history is concerned. As in,
really? On the one hand, having a bunch of people in monarchies or whatever, functionally monarchies, that have the same name, that's a thing that happens in a lot of monarchies. Like Richard, the insert 28th here. I'm pretty sure there are some that actually were 28th. Most of them go up to 8. Maybe just thinking Henry VIII, though. The fact that he just said this guy is basically Richard Cameron, but in the past, and I'm just thinking, oh no, because this is one of those guys that I still dislike more than Amaris. Yeah, and I don't like Amaris.
in this case,
oh no,
he died while touring facilities in the Rocky Mountains of Terra from nothing more than a simple heart attack.
Seriously?
And in his wake, he left a nation in untested hands. Richard Cameron had spent his life as the...
Yeah, I'm certain somebody making this art saw Baywatch right beforehand. It's like, you know what? We can't put Pamela Anderson in here, so we're going to put the next best thing. The Hoff. I'm not the only one seeing it, right?
The 7th Director General of the
Only the 7th.
hegemony,
Huh.
trying to ensure his nation's primacy while also maintaining his own power as director.
I guess Hasselhoff
Power
wasn't good at this
struggles
one.
during his tenure resulted in the nomination process bill of 2432,
What'd that do?
allowing the Director General to appoint their successor. This virtually ensured autocratic direct
Wait, it wasn't
succession
already?
of power through family dynasties and naturally
Yeah, unless you
people
really hate your
slightly
kids.
concerned, noting historical problems with someone getting a job because they're related to the previous boss.
Yep.
Richard Cameron's successor was Jacob Cameron, who from the beginning struggled with the same issue.
This is the real original art for Jacob Cameron. I thought this was just some kind of fucked up thing Tex found. This is the actual art, including stupid sci-fi 70s shoulder blades? Yeah, sure. It's not even the weirdest thing, but dear God, man. I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on this art. And this is the real art? No, 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 no.
Above anything else, I can say his ability to handle the situation he found himself in
Bad?
was somewhat compromised by his parents having given him grand ideas of his place in the world.
Oh no, he's
that
literally
he was
another
morally
Jacob.
superior to everyone else and could do no wrong.
That would explain why he has that hair. He's doing wrong, he doesn't realize it.
And arrogance in positions of power can result in, well, I think I've already covered that elsewhere.
A few times.
To prove
What the fuck did I just pause on? You know what, let's not even.
himself as Director General of the hegemony, he
Okay.
attempted territorial gains against the Capellans and then House Davion in 2435 in a meat grinder campaign.
Oh, he actually
that
decided to
resulted
branch
in
out.
Very little gain at enormous human cost.
And they all
This
fucked up.
made him rather unpopular at home, as he was the appointed successor to House Cameron and had, so far, demonstrated that his leadership resulted in meaningless death.
I mean, on the one hand, yeah. On the other hand, I'm so used to BattleTech talking about meaningless death as just, hey, war crime o'clock. And here I'm actually populating, well, not populating, but protesting as an actual populace that is used to not having their country try and murderize them. Honestly, that's just weird in BattleTech in most of the sphere. Inner or outer.
to salve his own hurt
Or
ego
periphery.
and prove that
Or
House
clan
Cameron
territory.
was truly worthy of its vested authority. He
Vest my
appealed
ass.
to the public to draw.
This isn't better art. Knife Fight City. Conmax room? What? Things could have been better. Live now. Or live now. Hey, man. Let's just chill out, okay? Riots are killing my vibe. And somehow this art is both more ridiculous, and apparently since it's not the official art, the only official image, this is something else they rendered of him. And still, this looks more serious than the actual one they chose. This looks like a drifter coming in off a Sahara voyage where they're an outsider. But they have some kind of crazy wares. They're more or less illegal. But you know it's going to be an amazing ride. Mostly because they're going to tie you up, put you in the back of their caravan, and leave you in the desert after you can't pay them for drinking all the gin they had in the bar. Come on, I'm not the only one thinking that, right? It's the glasses. It's definitely the glasses. Yeah.
Drum up support.
That one just looks like a man-child.
Was that anti-Cameron movements had solidified in the wake of his failure in leadership. But then again, he didn't exactly have the most trustworthy face. I mean,
he's not wrong.
Not all leaders are photogenic.
And even this image is better. It is significantly better. I keep looking and it is actually better.
In short, he attempted to better his nation. And
just throwing it out there. Yeah. 70s, 80s. You can tell the style. It's the bulgy, circly things around the shoulder blades. That's really what does it.
In an impulsive gamble, he found that he was precisely the thing to unify it against him. In the aftermath of 2435,
I just realized that stuff around his neck is actually hair and not part of his coat. The fuck?
he needed something.
And it's a cape. Of course it's a cape.
To change the balance of power in his favor.
I'm sorry. I'm still critiquing the art, and since this is original art that apparently Tex commissioned or was from one of the guys who just works in the Black Pants Legion, and by that's the mute button. Didn't know we had one of those. I guess in the Black Pants Legion, because I don't think Tex takes money for this, even though he really should, because it's god-awfully amazing. There are so many belts around his waistline that he would count as a Final Fantasy villain. And honestly, considering they have started putting in characters who are not waifishly thin for good or bad side, yeah, he can even count as a current one.
435, he needed something desperately to change the balance of power in
What
his
did he do?
favor. He needed something to
Wait,
make
is
his
this why
nation
Mackie's came
first
up?
among equals in perpetuity and cement his own legacy in history as a truly great leader.
He's
And
not.
through his control of the Terran hegemony, through his wounded ego, through his want to be remembered.
Seriously? I thought it was a joke, but no. The actual reason the first Battlemech is coming up is because a man-child was upset. Like, so what? I got probably hundreds of thousands of people dead needlessly by completely breaking our country's entire stance, and you have no real way to stop me because I'm in charge and I can kill you. That's actually why the Mackie is made? Why the first BattleTech is made? Really? God damn it, if that isn't actually fitting.
Is where the Mackie truly begins.
That's actually what that looks like. I've seen other art, but this is kind of ridiculous, but also kind of cool because you can tell how everything comes with it. I've seen other art of it from different angles, but just straight on, it definitely has that War of the Worlds vibe. It's both like the spotlight over the corner and just that cylindrical cone head. Yeah, no, it definitely has the War of the Worlds vibe. Dude. The test scene around the sphere?
Up
Test?
to this point, the path to the Mackie was in part slowly made from the advanced technology research conducted by the Terran hegemony's research directives and endless governmental grants. Myomers, advanced
smoking?
gyros, advanced weapons, man-machine interfaces, and most importantly, the
Oh, it's a
absolute
flamer
want
that-
of an
why is it going
unproven
off forever?
politician to rise above his peers, culminated in perhaps one of the most expensive, strange, and, quote, revolutionary, end quote, weapons projects
technically we
the
know it's
hemisphere
right, but-
has ever seen. Intrigued at the idea Myomer presented as a means of movement for fighting war machines, over 20 production firms, all deeply in the pocket and good graces of the Terran hegemony, labored for many decades in secrecy to apply it and other tech breakthroughs to weapons projects.
So and of course he's the one who decides to put the polymer fibers, the myomer, into it. Cool that they have the designs prior to that, but just, yeah. Also, I do wonder, would this actually work in a modern day setting as a mech build? I mean, we do have giant robots. Would this actually work? I mean, I know this is the sci-fi end, but would this also be technically sci-fi, or would this actually work? I'm very curious about that. For anyone wondering, or actually for anyone who knows, let me know. Would this actually work as a viable design?
For 90 years, a consortium labored to figure out the next revolution.
90! How old was this guy?
In armored mobile warfare.
Or were they already
For
doing
90
it? They were probably
years,
already doing it.
they
Oh, God.
stumbled, partially because what they were doing was ill-defined. After all, they were told to do research and development and make either breakthroughs to directly benefit the nation or resources to sell. They were paid to do research and development with an ill-defined goal in mind. They were not directed to develop and deliver any one thing in particular, and so...
Really? You gave a bunch of researchers the goal of research without any defined goals, without any deadline, because apparently it took 90 years. I'm honestly more surprised that it only took 90 years, or that it only took 90 years to get to the point where they're at the story right now, because dear God. People probably made their entire careers, literal careers and retirements off this. Dear God.
So it was largely an aimless creative process. In project management, this process is known as project creep, scope creep, kitchen sink syndrome, or more commonly,
Waste of money?
is a goddamn waste of time.
Oh, time instead of money. Well,
it
yeah,
must
90 years
be
would count.
noted that with endless research funding, they could build whatever they wanted. Being mindful that this was money that may dry up when the job is done meant that they could and really should take.
And that is why it's a bad thing. You need to ensure there's a second job lined up for other additional resources so they don't intentionally stretch it out. I'm assuming the guy in charge would never think of that because he's an idiot, and the people prior were like, we're fine with this because we just want developments, just make stuff. New guy's an idiot, though.
Their time.
Probably previous
But
guys,
hey,
too.
That's just
Inbred?
my opinion. By February 5th,
Scoble Mechworks test new product, probably a weapon. Is it big enough? The newest PPC that's sure to make your PP look huge. Ah, yes, I do love some pulse lasers. Yes, and there's nothing else I could reference at all.
2349, the combined consortiums united behind the chief manufacturer, Scobell Mechworks.
Why do they have
They
glasses?
had something to show.
Or is medical
Or
tech just not there
rather,
yet?
Well,
Or is it
test.
optional?
But first they had needed
just
a
too expensive?
pilot. The question is, what kind of person would climb into an unproven weapon system requiring unknown skills, and then succeed at all costs in what promised to be the most important, if not most expensive, weapons test of a generation?
I know which guy is crazy enough to make his name in history, but I don't think the current guy, the man-child, is a Cameron and somehow perfectly resembling everything that was wrong with the last one that we know about, is the one who's going to jump in there, because I don't think he's competent enough to survive. Like, not walk off the edge and kill himself. I didn't even know there would be an edge. He'd probably make an edge by shooting something without intending to and then die walking through the hole he just made. God knows, with my luck, it's going to be an Amaris doing it. It's like, yeah, they're the good guy. Literally pulling a Dune where, you know, the house is switched from ancient past to the present-ish time.
If not the century. Well, somebody like Charles Kincaid.
What?
Charles was the scion of a wealthy and influential
Kincaid, really?
family. The Kincaids were officially...
I love how text pulls up an image that is more brushwork, because with the name Kincaid, you know it's got to be artistic. This has to be original art, like something Tex has through Black Pants Legion, because it actually matches the overall tones and scratch marks of a lot of the art Kincaid himself makes. For anyone wondering, Kincaid's an artist. I cannot seem to remember his first name for some reason. My wife absolutely adores his stuff, like, to an insane level, and I'm honestly surprised we don't have more things on the wall in the house, because she would honestly not buy art, but she doesn't really do that. But she would do it if I bought her any as a gift. Okay, we're about to buy a bunch of those because I want to give her a gift. Alicia, if you're watching this, forget everything I just said. It would be a good one, though. I know she'll love it. Okay, maybe it's worth it. It's completely worth it.
the Dukes of Bremond and Brundage, places now ultimately of such low import that my research returned nothing of their official status in all known historical contexts.
Oh, that's weird.
What is known is that Charles Kincaid was selected from 4 potential test pilots and screened through a Level C SERE or SEER trial in Wyoming Territory on Terra. SEER, that is to say, survival, evasion, resistance, and escape training, is arduous in the extreme.
But would that actually help with piloting a mech?
Was certainly so very much more, as it would be in part the basis to select the best possible candidate for the classified Mackie project.
I want to say that that wouldn't have anything to do at all with piloting a mech, but considering that there's the neuro aspect, the actual helmet plugging in, maybe it does. Just having good reflexes in there might actually be enough to get your mind to work in such a way where it can be interpreted by the machine. So it does remind me, I want to know just how much of the buttons are psychosomatic. Well, yeah, psychosomatic, like they're not actually supposed to be there. They could be anything as long as you have some input and correlate it with an action. Is that how mechs work, really? I mean, it kind of makes sense, but huh.
Exercise should have been difficult enough, but was made far more difficult when it was infiltrated by a Capellan agent intent on killing everyone else and taking Kincaid's place.
Yeah.
Precise details are ultimately...
Funny, though. You know, it would make sense. I was about to say that, okay, I didn't think anyone really touched the hegemony because they were the ones who were giving out tech slowly, but you don't want to piss them off. But that's before the current guy fucked that up by then trying to expand territory and broke the entire thing that was making them, you know, more powerful and the brokers of most of everything. Yeah, because he fucked up their position, so they would probably be willing to fuck him up in turn.
Hazy, but what is known is that Kincaid killed the agent and naturally proved himself, if nothing else, to be a resilient survivor.
Yep.
Or, this is the story we're told, and a man was chosen because he was politically connected. Ultimately, that's a gut feeling.
I mean, I'll be completely honest, if there was a single person in that program who wasn't politically connected in some way, I would be very surprised, because if real-life politics are anything, when you have an incompetent asshole in charge who's just trying to look good, you're going to choose the best people you can who are also loyal to you. So I'm pretty sure every goddamn person in there was an agent. If it comes out that that's right, I won't be surprised. Is it just my own headcanon? Yes, but I'm going to go with it because literally any faction that didn't have someone in there would have just been falling behind. There's a loop option? Oh, didn't know I could do that.
But my suspicions are not ill-founded in this case, for the Kincaid family was enormously invested in the numerous weapons firms attached to the project and enjoyed being a known person in the Cameron court.
Shocking.
Further details are difficult to find, but what most people remember Charles Kincaid for is that without any embellishment whatsoever, he can be credited as being the first Mechwarrior. It was near Yakima, an old city on Terra located on the North American continent, that would see the first.
Wait, where was that?
Can be credited as being the first Mechwarrior.
That is pretty cool credit.
It was near Yakima, an old city on Terra located on the North American continent, that would see the first successful weapons test of the Mackie. We do know that the test was a success. From available records, the following facts are certain.
What were the records?
On one end of the test range were 4 ancient Merkava tanks fitted with remote controls.
Dude.
On the other end of the test range was the culmination of a near century of technological breakthroughs.
I'm sorry, there's absolutely something I just love that they're going to the BattleTech hexagonal grid, and I can see all this stuff. It took me forever to figure this out, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, I like this. Also, because it involves not using a tape measure. I've even started playing freaking Warhammer 40k on hexagonal grids just because it's like, okay, this is how far I move, we're good. Yeah, it works. It's really easy.
Dozens of advanced weapon systems trying to work together, in the hopes and dreams of 20 megacorps trying to strike it rich. It was a weapon system designed by the best, the brightest, and piloted by the well-to-do, and now pushed into the testing phase by a singularly desperate political leader. I cannot fathom what they hoped through all their efforts to produce, but I do know
it really does look stupid.
It was called the Mackie, and on its poorly built shoulders rode the future. From the start, the pilot had some difficulties. In his eagerness, or perhaps fully realizing the power at his command, he nearly destroyed the umbilicals during power-up.
Umbilicals? Oh, okay, one. That is a really cool looking laser, man. I mean, I know the Mackie's not supposed to be really intense, but this version of it right here, you just take out the nipple lasers, and this looks like a regular not even Battlemech, it looks like a mini Atlas, probably because the head's spherical. I kind of want to get a model of this. I know it would suck. Just headcanon would be someone upgraded it with clan tech. It's still a Mackie, but it just really isn't a Mackie.
Maneuvering tests. But as stated by the test observer, before long the neural feedback circuits of the Mackie were mimicking the pilot's brainwave patterns in perfect synchronicity.
Dude.
If a mech were a living thing, the pilot was now its heart and soul. So the test observer thought then, and as we think now. And so, one awkward step at a time, the Mackie ambled toward the future. When the tanks attacked the Mackie in the test, observers noted that the new armor they developed for the
I really hope this is art that they didn't commission, because if this battle test with the Mackie involved the guys in the remote control unit standing next to it, for artistic reasons, it's fine. For what the fuck reasons these people were allowed to have weapons? Dear God. It's like throwing a stick of dynamite into a lake and telling the fish to defuse it when it's actually the kind of dynamite that won't stop burning underwater, which apparently is a thing I found out. I don't know why, but just weird, random things you find out. Yeah, oh wow, that is literally all kinds of dumb.
Program held up better than expected.
Looks good though.
Rounds that should have cleanly penetrated through hardened normal steel was stopped dead by the new armor.
Oh.
New armor that was, admittedly, some of the most expensive ever made up to that point. It had been strengthened by new casting techniques and was infused with a sheet of woven diamond fiber.
That's what that shit is?
The machine joined. The pilot reacted swifter than the observers had expected. The pilot was more aware of the situation than any could have predicted, as he was not seeing from the cockpit glass, but drinking information straight from the sensor suite to get a better view of the battlefield.
Huh. Also, they really bulked up the Mackie on this one. That's honestly a lot cooler looking. But this is one of the things that whenever you're playing Mechwarrior in the various games, it's like, okay, yeah, we're taking all this sweet information, but you're still looking through the glass or a top-down menu. You're not really drinking in it, which is one of the reasons, I guess, having it in tabletop versions or even the harebrained scheme variation is probably closer to what it's actually like, because you have more information than what you would normally get just by playing it. And when you're playing the Mechwarrior games themselves, it's probably actually further away because you're not getting the same information, which you can't really replicate because you're not plugged into it itself. Just random aside. Also, goddamn, that looks cool. Love the little, oh god, the bags of money on the side. You have everyone drinking. Is that an animated person? That guy's huge. It looks like he has a bill. Okay, well, apparently we have a random anthropomorphic porpoise here. Sure, why not?
He destroyed every tank in rapid succession, save for the last. To win was one thing, but winning was style.
Did he jump on it?
That's something else.
Did he do the first DFA?
It is of historical note that Kincaid was not only the first Mechwarrior, but the first to grandstand in style on his opponents.
Yeah!
The last tank he carefully disabled before calmly walking up, raising the mech's right foot, and stomping the tank flat.
Oh, dude. And this does make the Mackie look much cooler. Also, I'd like to point out, having it look more like a center based here makes it look a lot more useful. I know it's still technically the groin, but they've, in the art, moved it slightly up where the chest piece is here. This is more in the stomach area as opposed to the groin. Maybe it's just the art that makes it look that way, but I think it is. And that looks a lot more sensical as far as I'm concerned. Also, there seems to be more to the arms than the other one. Frankly, I kind of want a mech like this just because it would be cool. It would probably just absolutely suck, but it'd be cool looking.
In what was supposed to be a fair fight representing standard forces, the Mackie had flattened everything without a scratch. A new era had begun, with the first Mechwarrior essentially teabagging the opposition.
Yeah, it kind of did.
Regardless of the showmanship of that test, the future was clear, and its potential unlimited.
Shit, I'm going to have to go on eBay and get a Mackie. Okay, I'm just cutting it here because if I go any longer, I will be really tempted to start buying more models on eBay. And you can't see them, but right above my head are where all of my BattleTech models are. They're actually on top of other boxes, and I've got more than I really should. I also bought the BattleTech stuff over there Yeah, I'm... I bought multiple games of it already, and if a BattleTech or Mechwarrior 6 comes out, I'll probably get that. I'm an addict. I'm aware of that. Yeah. God damn, I want to get that. I'm not even going to be able to stop. I'm literally ending this video, and I'm going to then go on eBay to get a freaking SLF? Whatever, 3D printed version of the Mackie, because it'll be cool, and I'll enjoy it, even if it sucks. I'll just, probably do a personal build and go into Mech Lab. Oh yeah, it is Mech Lab. And change it out so it has a bunch of new things. Just the same chassis so I can say it's the Mackie on the tabletop with actual usable items. Yeah, sure. Why not? Would it work? Probably not. Will I do it anyways? Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. And honestly, most of the people I play with yeah, sounds cool. Nice. Yeah. I'm literally kind of here because I want to just go buy a Mackie print. That's literally the only reason. I have no self-control. So if you haven't already, there's a link below to the original video. Hit it up. It's Tex. He's responsible for making me get into this game, and I'm actually okay with that because it's really fun. And if you haven't already, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe. Oh, and by the way, I'm on Twitter, so if anything new comes out, or if you happen to know where to get some really good SLF, why do I keep saying SLDF? I want to say SLF, but I'm thinking SLDF, and I'm getting confused in my head. I'm an idiot. Whatever. If you know where to get some really good prints other than eBay, let me know, because I'd like to. There might be a link below. I don't know. It's Airier Games on Twitter. Same as on YouTube. Yeah, hit me up. I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.